So it's that time of year again when we find ourselves working on Christmas tree lights and decorations. And so here I am. I've got my wife has given me this set of candles to work with. They've been spliced together here by one of those 3M connections, and it's been like that for many, many years. But she told me recently that when she plugs it in, one of them lights and one of them doesn't. And to make it a little more complicated, these candlesticks have a circuitry in them. When you plug them in, they'll run for like 8 hours and then go off. And so from then on, you never have to worry about plugging them in. You plug them in when you want them to come on, and then every day they come on at the same time and go off. So they're kind of nice. Save a lot of trouble if you have one of these in every window of your home. And so I'm going to be working on this to see if I can figure out what the issue is. She's given me an extra light bulb here, and I'm not sure if the light bulb's burned out or just what's going on, but I'm going to look into it and see if I can find out why. So I've got an extension cord here that's plugged into the wall, and it's just handy here on a table. I can plug it and unplug it as I'm working on it. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in and see what happens. Okay, after a bit of a delay, I see this one came on. And this one is the one that's directly fed through power. And this one that didn't come on is the one that's connected through these taps. So already I'm a little suspicious that maybe one of these taps is bad. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is switch these light bulbs and see if the light bulbs are the problem. I know this is a known good light bulb, and I don't know the status of this one. So I'll put it over here and see if it comes on. Okay, good, the light bulb works. So I'm going to put this good light bulb in here. I can rule that out. So now I know the problem in this one is not the light bulb. It may be the connection to the light bulb, or the circuitry, or this connection here. And so I'm kind of suspecting it's this tap connection here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to back probe the wires. First thing I'm going to do is disconnect it so it's safe. And I'm going to come right in here and put in these safety pins and probe into the insulation of the wire. I use these a lot. I use these also actually for another reason with the silicone tubing, but I also, they're very handy for back probing into the wire. And you want to do it at a, not straight in the wire, but at a steep angle. So that way the wire will kind of go in and travel along with the connection there. And then later you can go back with some silicone and patch that little hole. And you don't want to do it close to the other one because you don't want to have a chance of these arcing and shorting out. And so I picked the other conductor here downstream a little bit, and I want to pierce its insulation. And then I've got a voltmeter here. I'm going to set it to AC volts. We're going to be looking for 110 volts AC. And I've got these alligator clips. I can just make a connection to the probe here. Since it's AC, it doesn't really matter which polarity you use. It's going to read the same either way. And so I don't recommend you doing this unless you're very comfortable working with power or take all the precautions I'm taking right now today. And so now, when I plug this in, you don't want to be close to this. You don't want to accidentally touch this or work anywhere where there's a conductive surface. So, heads up. And now I'm going to plug it in and see if I can get a volt reading. So I get 8 volts. That's not enough. I'm expecting 120. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to carefully I'm going to recrimp these wires here, these connections, with some pliers. That's how the connections are normally made. And I can watch the voltmeter while I'm doing it. So I'm squeezing that one and I don't see any effect. I'm going to try the other one. No effect there. The other thing that's possible is that I don't have a good probe connection, so I'm going to pull this out, disconnect it, and rework these a little to make sure I'm actually in there deep enough. I feel like it should be. And also I can pop these little 3M connections apart. These are not very, they're mostly for like trailer connections or something like that. I don't know if I would actually really trust it. But I could also probe here and see if I'm getting a voltage at least to that point. And what I may end up doing is removing this splice and making a new splice using heat shrink tubing or something like that. So now I've got those exposed and I've reworked the connections here. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in and see if I get any volt reading there. Okay, so now I am getting a voltage, 120 volts. So that tells me that these spliced connections are okay. I'll go ahead and close those back. So I've got 120 volts here. It's deadly, so you don't want to touch that. But I know now that I'm getting 120 volts all the way up into this candle here. And so now I'm going to go inside and take a look at the candle and see if I can figure out what might be wrong inside there. First I'm going to unplug it again, make it safe. Then I can remove these because I know I'm done probing with the pin, because I've confirmed that I have wires, that I have voltage going into the base of this candle. I'm going to move this one out of the way because I don't want to get it confused with the one I'm working on. First thing I'm going to do is I kind of suspect that connection down at the base. Those are known to get damaged by pushing them down. I'm not sure if I can open this up. I'll see what happens. Yeah, that's really not going to help me much, I do not believe. I think the circuitry might be inside this plastic candle piece. This probably just goes in. That's a strain relief. It probably goes in. And it looks like the wires go up into here. And so this might be glued in there. I'm not sure. But what I'm going to do is try to get a probe and get in there and pull these little contact surfaces up. I'm going to go get a little dental pick for that. So I went and got a dental pick. And I'm going to be working on these two contact surfaces in there. I'm going to try to pull them back out. Maybe a little, so I work the pick in underneath the little copper tab. And see if I can flex it back up a little bit. And same for this one. So now I'm going to put the bulb in there, see if I can get it to come on. I'm going to plug it in. I got this one on. Not getting anything there. I'm going to try to read it with a voltmeter. So you just want to make sure you're not to bridge those 2 points. So it looks like the circuit might have an issue because the most I can measure is about 8 volts VAC. And so at this point, I guess I might as well dig into the circuit and see if I can see anything that might be wrong. And worst case, I can just, on this one here, I can just bridge this and make it work all the time. At least we'll just have one candle that we have to deal with. So the mystery is how to get that out of there. I'm gonna go get something and see if I can go in there and unscrew it from the top. So I've got this tool here. It's for removing external retaining rings. So basically when you squeeze on the handle, it opens up here, and there's some serrations on the outside here. So I'm going to attempt to put this in there and get some leverage from the inside and spin that out. Nope, not going to happen. So the next thing I'm going to try, I'm going to cut this right here with a tubing cutter, and then I can glue it back. So I just keep getting deeper and deeper into this thing, but I'm not going to give up. At some point I'm going to have it working. It'll be lit up. I don't know if it'll be automatic or not. So I'm estimating, I want to cut it right in here, just below the candelabra socket. So I just got some tubing cutters here. Hopefully this will work pretty good. And hopefully it won't be noticeable because they're put in a window and you really can't see very much detail from the street. So it's feeling like it's about cut. You can just kind of feel it just noses over there. So now I can pull this out. And it looks like my guess was pretty close. I cut right below the candelabra base, and there's a circuit board in there, I see. So now what I can do is open this, remove this strain relief here with some pliers. Hopefully I can get it out of there. Yep. And so then, once I get this strain relief removed, I could feed some wire up in there. See how the strain relief just kind of puts a big kink in the wire there? So now hopefully I can feed this up and see what's going on. Always wondered what was up inside of one of these things. So it has a smell to it, like something's burnt. And so there's it has what they call a flip chip. That's probably where the timing is happening. And this little black dot right here, let me zoom in, you can see it. See if I can zoom in some more. There's this little black dot here. called a flip chip. It's an integrated circuit that's built right onto the PC board, and they just encapsulate it with this epoxy. And it has a smell of something burning on it. And so I doubt I can fix this. There's a crystal right there. So it's quite you can see it says CRY right there. So it's quite an accurate timing, feat of timing here built into this candle. So what I want to do is just bridge it. I can see this connection here is bridged and made from this wire. And so all I really need to do is bridge this wire to that wire, solder that, and then whenever I plug it in, the light will just be on. And then I can just glue it back together. And it'd probably be a good idea actually to cut this wire away and directly connect it to this wire and eliminate this from the circuit, because we don't want to catch anything on fire here. It smells like something's happened there. And so I'm going to do some soldering magic on this and take care of that. So I'm working on it here on the bench. I'm going to see if I can fix this so it comes on all the time. So what I'm going to do is just clip the wire and clip this wire. Normally these run together and it's controlled by this SCR device right here. But what I'm going to do is just connect these two wires together, and the candle will just come on all the time. Won't have a timer, but it'll we can just have it somewhere where we can access it easily. Got my soldering iron warmed up. And I've just got a small piece of wire here that I'm going to splice on. It's a very small bulb. It's very light, very low current. So I'm just going to tin up this this wire here. And also I'm going to tin the wire I'm joining it to. And I've got some heat shrink I can use to protect the connection. I'll just slide that right over there. And what I'm going to do is have the wire still come through the hole, I guess. We'll see how that works out. I think I can still have it come through the hole and connect it right there. And so strip again. Now I'm going to add some more heat shrink. Now go ahead and put it on first because I won't be able to get it on later. And I'm going to go ahead and tin this connection and then the other one. So on this one I have to act fast, otherwise it's going to start shrinking my heat shrink. Actually I'm going to cut my heat shrink a little more. get it away from the wire as much as possible where I'm going to be soldering. There, I tried to act quick so I wouldn't put a lot of heat in the wire. Now all I have to do is attach these two wires together. So I'm going to go ahead and put a bend in that one to get it naturally in that direction. I'm going to be working right here, soldering these two together. Sorry if my hand's in the way. So I'm going to slide that down quickly. There we go. So I've covered it and it's starting to shrink up, but I slid it down quick enough so that it did get on there. So now the wire used to be connected here, and through this trace it would connect, it would apply power to this trace, which was the other one, the other side here, through this SCR. I believe the SCR may have burned up, I'm not sure. But I don't have an SCR, but I'm pretty sure now when I plug this candle in, it's just going to light. It'll just be lit until I unplug it. So now I'm going to put it all together and find some glue to hold it.